I've probably seen her, but you know.
Communicating maintenance. Cool. So you work for the sheriff?
Yeah.
You're his right-hand man?
No. I'm his
He's my right-hand man.
left-hand man. The right-hand man uses to.
This is not
I've
the
been
way you
there-
interview somebody.
I've been there
please.
for 22 years.
Yeah.
Don't waste my tape.
And I'm the buyer for the place.
So what do you do?
I'm the buyer for communication maintenance.
Oh, so you buy
He buys
parts
all the
and you buy-
radios, the lights,
Everything.
All right.
cars.
So
Well, in a way,
This way to
yes.
throw his name right every time I get stopped by the cops. I go,
Yeah, those
hey, you know Joe Ortiz? I'm like, yeah.
capital items are bought by the executive buyer, whatever that is.
cool. I didn't even know that you still worked. Did you know that?
Oh,
That
great.
this guy worked?
Oh, absolutely.
I thought you were retired.
Being self-righteous, I'm being
I'm working for my fourth retirement.
The fourth one? That's right.
Retired from the Army, retired from the city of Tampa. I'm collecting Social Security because I'm over 70, and I'm working 32 years. When I quit, I'll be retired 4 times. I'll collect pension 4 places,
That's great.
which is better than retire.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm not
You're getting to be a rich man now.
I'm not rich, but
You're very comfortable.
I'm comfortable in a way.
Yeah, I love your house. Great house.
We've been here 30 years.
Amazing.
Remember the 15 or 30 years. The refrigerator there is 30 years old.
That refrigerator is the same
It's
refrigerator as I
30, the same one.
Well, what kind of brand is it?
It's Sears, Kenmore,
Make sure I get one.
and
It's Kenmore.
we bought it. Right, in fact, was installed by the people who built the house.
Amazing.
November the 15th, 1971. See, the left side has 2 doors, and we use the lower part for the freezer. But the top one, if you turn it down, can be used as a freezer too.
Can I get you some?
Wow.
But
How about some cookies?
just the 2 of us, you don't need.
Oh, and I got a
Key lime pie.
key lime.
Hey, Pepe. Hi, pretty bird.
Wait, if I can whistle here, she'll do. He always. Pepe.
He's getting all excited.
When his top goes up like that, he's listening.
Mm-hmm. He's dancing.
He was my bird, and
Excuse me?
he was my bird. And I went out of town for like a week or something. And I left him with Dad to take care of him, and Dad wouldn't give him back. He's been here now, what, 15 years? I didn't know birds lived that long.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
parrots
if I would
live.
known he lived that long, I wouldn't have bought the damn bird. Huh? A girl did give it to her. I'm sorry? Okay. It's a big bar. There's a million people out there, all drunk on their ass now.
Okay. Say no when Esther when she asks you. Say you want to go to bed.
Yeah, I need to go to bed.
She needs to go to bed.
Not right now.
Not right now.
This time you're gonna be up another half hour. I'm gonna take George home.
Plus, we think Nelsie's coming later, so we want to stay here.
Yeah.
Boy, it just rained.
Blue moon.
You need a tripod?
Yeah.
Should we go to the water?
Yeah, let's go to the
And do a reflection from the clouds to the water?
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, this has got to be beautiful in the water.
Yeah. I'm
Hitting the
having a
water.
hell of a.
It really is. Now we need to
Butcha.
yeah, that too. I said, your mama.
That alligator's there again?
What alligator?
Here.
There's no such thing as a saltwater alligator.
Look at the house now.
Cool. See, I just planted these Christmas palms about 4 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have anything that
I have a couple in my house.
Christmas palms?
I keep them indoors year round.
If I had a net right now, I could throw a net out here, a fish net, and why didn't you see what happened last?
I don't want to show him the picture.
Alright, whenever you get ready, you can,
Whenever
Cookie?
you're ready.
Cookie, I would rather that you sit on this side of the camera.
What?
Sit on this side of the
I
camera.
can't be over there.
Yes, otherwise he'll be talking to you sideways. Come on,
I
baby.
see.
You're talking sideways. How can you talk sideways?
No. Uncle
No, you're
Pepe,
fine.
you
You
stay
sit
there.
Well,
I gotta take it.
Oh, okay.
Y'all gonna manatee out there.
Coochie,
Okay.
you're on.
Hello, we're here with
what you there?
Jose.
Yes.
Now, what you tell us your full name?
Jose Angel Ortiz,
And you were born in
1920,
on what day?
then 24 September.
24 September 1920. Okay. And where were you born?
Patillas, Puerto Rico.
Okay.
But my family was from Cayey. We just happened to be there because my father had a tobacco farm in Patillas, and when I was born, they were staying there for a while.
Okay. And who was your father? What was his full name?
Jose Ladislao Ortiz.
Ladislao. I wonder where that came from. And your mother's name was?
Andrea León de Ortiz.
No,
Andrea León.
Lopez.
Andrea León Lopez. Okay, maiden name.
Right. Okay. And you were the first.
I was the first
So-
born.
So you didn't have any brothers and sisters when you were born.
No,
And what language did your parents speak?
Spanish.
Nothing else, right?
Nothing else, I guess. The Turk or something like that.
Okay. As you were growing up, did your parents tell you how you were as a baby? Were you a quiet baby? Were you sad? Were you happy? Were you?
I don't remember.
You don't remember any of that? Okay. And you were telling us that your father was a foreman at a farmer
Farmer.
in a tobacco factory.
No. He grew tobacco.
Oh, he grew
He
tobacco.
grew tobacco to sell to the factories, I guess.
To the factories around the area. Okay.
And my uncle used to make moonshine rum.
Your uncle?
My uncle, yeah, in Patillas. I
Ah.
used to pay the chief of police to let him even, how you call, roll the drums of rum on the streets.
Okay. Do you remember if you played any games as a kid, and what kind of games did you play?
I don't remember much.
Okay. Do you remember stories that they told you when you were little?
No,
Any songs that you sang?
no,
No songs. Any books that you read?
not that. At that time, there was no such a thing that they have now.
Okay. Did they talk about? You said that they were in Patillas temporarily,
Yes, right.
but they actually lived in Calle.
Well, the family wasn't from Calle.
Was from Calle.
Yeah.
And what kind of a house did they have there? Or do you remember?
Well, I can't remember much of the houses that they live in till I grew up. I can't remember. I know that my grandfather died, but I didn't even know that he died anyhow, because I was either I was too little or he was born before I died. I don't know. That was my grandfather. Yeah. Okay, and they used to live, as far as I remember, right in front of the plaza, the square. You know, in the best part of town, in Patillas.
Okay.
They were there too.
Have you been there in more recent times?
No.
I would imagine it's still
I
the
have
same.
been to Patillas. In fact, I remember riding in a bus with some fellow, an older man than me, and he asked me where I was from. I say, I'm from Patillas. I said, you're about the first one that admits that he was born in Patillas. So I remember that. I remember he was a very talkative man. He was making all kind of dirty jokes, which I learned one of them. I still remember them.
Okay.
Have them tell the dirty joke.
No.
I don't know.
In the house that you were born, the only people that lived there was your mother and father, or did you have aunts and uncles living in the same house?
Yes, with my mother and father.
Just your mother and father, okay. And at that time, obviously, it was a commonwealth. Puerto Rico was a commonwealth.
At that time, Puerto Rico was just plain an island that was governed by the United States. The governor was from the United States, and
Because you didn't have
the chief of police of the city, the country was from the United States up to till about
50, right?
1947 or 48.
Okay. Okay. So now let's go up to 1925. You're 5 years old. Did you start going to school?
I went to school. From that time we have moved from Patillas to some farm that my father had in another barrio over there. And I remember that the peons used to come on Saturdays to get paid. And one time he gave me $1, full dollar what he was paying here. Have this dollar and get out of my way. So I took the dollar and I hid it under the bush, and I couldn't find the dollar anymore. Then, for some reason, he lost all his money, and we moved to Montellano. Montellano was a little place of 3 or 4 or 5, or maybe 10 or 20 houses. I mean, it's not like it's now.
Yeah.
Okay, and I went to school from out there in Montellano. And I remember that I had to cross a brook. The brook is like a small canal or something like that. And one day it was raining so hard that the brook was overflowing. So my father had to take me to school that day, and that's one of the things I first remember being in school. The day that he came over and dragged me through over there.
But how did he walk to you, or he went on a horse?
He walked. I can't remember. And I got on horse, so he might walk. I can't remember exactly. I know that's one of the things that stay in my memory.
That your father took you to work, to school.
Yes.
What do you remember about school? Was there a lot of children, or?
Well, I can't remember much. I don't even. I think here, my first teacher, her name was Ramona Rivera, something like that. And everybody, like I say, all my teachers through the years, they were nice to me for some reason. All of them liked me because I had blue eyes and at that time, well, in Puerto Rico, having blue eyes and being light complected
Complexion.
Was it was kind of different, let's put it that way. Not that the others were black or anything like that, but they had a
Darker.
darker complexion than me.
Mm-hmm.
Consequently, all through the years, the teachers were very nice to me and liked me a lot.
Mm-hmm. What did you like in the school? Were there any hobbies or any games or things that you
No.
liked?
Not necessarily. The only time I liked it was when we had a course in agriculture, and I made a plot behind my house, and I made partners with this other student who was a hard worker, and he did all the work, and I collected all the compliments. I remember.
Okay.
I don't know what we planted in there or not, but he was big fellow and liked to work, and I didn't like to work too much.
Okay. What is that?
As a clock,
Oh.
as a Aybar clock.
Were there any special events that took place in your life? Something, big event, or that you could remember when you were little like that?
Well, I remember either a dream this or that, but on Saturdays or something like that, there was a white car limousine, like I call it at that time, that used to pick us up in some place and take us to some other place.
Uh-huh.
And, but I can't remember exactly why and what was the occasion or what.
Had something to do with your father, or?
But I think something to do with my father, properties or something like that. And we were in one place and he was in another place.
Okay.
And every Saturday, if I remember, there was a white car, limousine, whatever you call it, come and pick us up and take us to where he was. What he did and where, I can't remember where it was.
Okay. Were you healthy at the time? Did you eat well? What did you like to eat? Were you ever sick?
I just ate, not that I remember.
Okay. Were you ever separated from your family?
No.
Okay. Were your parents happy together?
Well, they were contented.
Okay.
I think my father used to like to.
Click. Hold on one second. Just start again. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, you were a pretty happy guy. You don't remember anything sad?
No, except that I remember my mother's father died, and we had to go from Montellano to Toita.
Mm-hmm.
Toita, I think it was. And I think we went by horse.
Okay.
I think since I was, my mother was walking behind the horse, and I was riding with somebody in the horse.
Okay.
And like now the distances are shorter than they were then.
Right.
It seemed to be, but we're the same distance, we're not that far away, let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
From one place to the other, if it was 10 miles, was too much.
So you probably went to the funeral of this relative.
I don't know. I remember him dying and somebody telling my mother, I don't think my father even went. That I remember. But
And it was a relative of hers or a relative
well,
of
my mother's
or
father,
your mother's? Okay.
Martin Leon,
Oh, okay.
I was.
Mm-hmm. And okay, this was now we're going from like 1925 to 35 or so. So now you have a little sister coming, right? Nelsie.
Nelsie was born in Patillas too, I think.
Oh, she was born in Patillas as
think,
well.
If I'm not mistaken, Lida was born in Patillas. Something, I don't know. We were one after the other so fast that we lost track of who was born where.
Okay. So let's think about when you were all living in Montellano.
Right.
What kind of room did you have?
Well, we had a big house,
Uh-huh.
and but we were a big family. Consequently, we had to, I don't know, to
Share things?
share rooms.
Okay. And
I
did you
remember
have your
having
own
one.
room or?
Well, I remember having a room in one place, then the next room, then the living room, then the bigger room on the other side. Where my mother and father stay, I can't remember. Where I stay, I can't remember. I know that was a big house.
Mm-hmm. And was it was away from the city, right?
No, I went from the city at that time. Now it's next to the city, practically.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. At that time,
The city has grown out to
at
it.
that time, a mile was a long way,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that to the school was about 2 miles, if I'm not mistaken,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe less. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, when distances were far away,
Mm-hmm.
now it's like
2 minutes.
yeah, close.
Mm-hmm. Your brothers and sisters, what did you guys do together that you like to do?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No, with them. I don't remember playing any games.
No?
Or no, I don't remember. I know we had to do something,
Uh-huh.
but I can't remember exactly. Nothing that I can remember that it is. They play. What the heck it was? I said that at times it was my time to grind the coffee
Uh-huh.
in the molinillo,
Uh-huh.
and we used to hate that. So whatever.
How much did you have to grind?
Huh?
How
Well,
much?
About a pound, I guess. I don't know. So one time I was there buying how you call
Coffee?
coffee, like we get instant coffee now. At that time, that was a luxury.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my mother said me sometimes, get me a pound of coffee in such and such a place. I think the coffee might have been about 5 cents a pound or whatever like that. So I remember doing that.
So you got a bag of coffee, or a pound of coffee,
And something like
and
that.
it was in the little grains?
The
No,
beans.
no, no,
The
no.
beans?
First was, the cheapest way was buying the beans. And
Grinding
you do
it.
your own grinding, okay?
And you guys had to do the
That's
grinding?
right, we had the, how you call the job of doing the grinding.
Okay.
But sometimes I remember going to town and buying the coffee already
Ground.
It is now. Ground.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's when you had more money.
Well, I don't know. My mother always had money, let's put it that way.
And did you have electricity in this house?
No,
So how did you,
by a lantern,
you had lanterns, and how did your mother cook?
you cook with charcoal and
Charcoal in the stove?
fry.
It had like a drawer with the charcoal that you put in?
Hey, there, I remember.
Can't remember.
He didn't have to do it, obviously.
Yeah, I remember your sister, Aneda, talking about the quinqués. She had to clean them. She didn't like that.
Yeah.
She'd get all dirty.
Well, like I say, I studied hard and I was pretty good in my
Math?
classes. And I did it by big lantern that they have. Because at that time, trying to get electricity to certain places, it was almost impossible. Not because there was not the money, but because they didn't do it. It's not like now, there's electricity every place and cable and everything. At that time, no matter how much money you had, if you want the electricity, it was almost impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So my father gave up. In fact, getting city water, my father brought about, I would say about 5 miles of pipe
You
all
did?
the way from some place, I don't know where from, to the house. So we had running water,
Okay.
and we had a shower, and but he had to go some. After he did it, I remember people talking about it, but I never saw him do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So he might have done it when you were little?
all right.
He had already done it. Okay. All right. So let's go to when you're a teenager now. You still going to school in Calle?
Teenager is up to 14. I had the same teacher in elementary school from the 4th grade up to the 9th grade.
Same teacher.
She came promoted because she was a mistress of the superintendent of schools.
Oh,
So every time a new grade came in, but she was good.
Uh-huh.
She was a good teacher,
uh-huh.
very, very professional.
Mm-hmm.
But she had her faults, and at that time was something almost. Nobody mentioned it. I found I didn't learn that till later on.
Okay.
I mean, later in my life.
Mhm.
At that time, then I went to high school in Calle. I remember I was a valedictorian
Uh-huh.
in the 8th grade, and I had to give a speech.
Okay.
So I gave the speech on the graduation night, and everything started from there. I remember they gave me some kind of a prize. I expected for them to give me all the books of high school, but they just gave me something that didn't amount to nothing.
Oh.
At that time, $5 was a lot of money. They probably gave me $1. But I can't remember.
I see. So, at 14, but you weren't finished with high school then,
At
right?
14, I was finished. No, I started high school.
Oh, just starting high school.
September 19, what? I graduated September 34.
1934.
I went to high school. I
Okay.
had to walk. When I would find the car or something like that, I had to walk all the way to school.
Which was how many miles?
About 2 miles, I guess it was.
That's a long
From
way.
Montellano to the high school. I don't know, could be the miles, could be 2 miles. I know it was
far.
a long way at that time.
What were your favorite subjects?
I didn't particularly care. I just went to the high school and I didn't have any class I liked. I didn't have any teacher that I liked more than the others. All of them were very nice to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so consequently I never developed a liking for this teacher, liking for this other one. All of them were
Good to you.
I'm picking them up.
what's the matter? Shut up.
Did you have any buddies that you liked a lot?
I have plenty people. I was always well liked.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it that way. They used to call me Jíbaro because I live in the
Hillbilly.
country.
Oh, because you lived in the
Because I live
country.
in the country, but otherwise, everybody who was, all the kids that I knew, I don't remember having any enemies that didn't like me or liked me more than what. I didn't pay that much attention.
So most of the kids that you went to high school with lived in the town?
Yeah, they live in town or surrounding barrios.
Some of them came from the barrios.
Montellano,
Mm-hmm.
what they call it, Guabate, all those little barrios around there
Mm-hmm.
have different names, and they came all around there.
Mm-hmm. What about girlfriends? Did you have any girlfriends?
Not necessarily. I didn't remember having any. All of them liked me. I'm not talking about. In fact, when I graduated from high school, all the girls wanted me to be their partner. And I was lucky that we tied for the next prize. What's the next to valedictorian? Salutatorian, right? Okay. Clara Vasquez and me, we tied for it, so she was my partner. So that took me out the trouble of having to say to somebody yes and somebody no. So I remember that.
Got you out of a pickle, huh?
And I remember before the graduation ceremony, we went to a bar where they had a couple of drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And the orchestra was coming from Guayama, and they showed up about 2 hours later. So the drinks that we took,
Go ahead. The drinks
the drinks that we took to give us,
to get you happy.
happy with that, it went away, and we were sober when we had to go to the graduation. And I had to give another speech.
Oh,
So,
did you like making those speeches?
I don't even remember like them or not.
Yeah, what you talk about?
I just did it because we had to do it.
Y'all okay?
What'd you talk about?
The heck out of me. I can't remember.
All right. Okay, so now you're graduating. What did you do after that?
I went to college.
This is 1938
38. I went to the University of Puerto Rico,
in Rio Piedras?
Rio Piedra.
Okay. And what, just basic studies or something
I was
special?
studying to be a teacher.
Okay.
Okay. And I didn't particularly apply myself.
Uh-huh.
I had a scholarship
Uh-huh.
that $15 a month, I think it was at that time.
Wow.
That was a lot
Big
of money.
bucks.
That was a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I did make the grade and I lost it.
Ouch.
But in the next few months I made the grade and where I was given the scholarship, hey, what the heck? There's no reason why you should have a scholarship again. So I had a scholarship practically all the time that I was in college.
Did you live in Rio Piedras?
I live In Rio Piedras, yes. First was in the kind of name of Robles Street
Mm-hmm.
in Rio Piedras, and then I moved to Santa Rita, which is my aunt by marriage was running the boarding house. And
Your father's sister?
my father's sister-in-law,
Oh, sister-in-law.
Dr.
Okay.
Benigno's ex-wife. And,
Okay. And you stayed at her house while you'd go and study?
yeah,
Was it walking distance, or you
the
had to
walking distance was very close to the
right in
university.
Rio Piedras? Good.
And there was a bar
Uh-oh.
across from the university where we used to go and
Hang
have
out?
a few drinks and listen to music from of the orchestras from Cuba at that time, at Casino de la Playa, Miguelito Valdez, and we used to go in there and get plastered and then go home for being students. And all the time, whenever they had a big event in San Juan, and the Scambron Beach Club all around there,
Right, right.
I used to go.
Mm-hmm. And so the classes that you took have to do with education or
Nothing elementary, nothing big that you'd be interested in, just put that way.
did you graduate from there?
No, no. Well, there I joined, of course, I was ROTC.
Okay,
That was my best subject.
okay.
And I made
What does ROTC stand for? I forget.
ROTC.
Reserve
Reserve Officers Training
Training
Camp.
Camp, okay.
Okay, and I made good grades in military subjects, put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I joined the National Guard in order to get little money every week. Every Saturday we had drills and things like that. And I joined the National Guard to get some more money.
Okay.
So
And that was 30.
I'm talking from 38 to 40.
Okay.
Okay?
So you were, that was just the beginning of the World War, right?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
The war started in 41, December 41.
Okay.
So I remember we used to go to summer camps, the National Guard. I remember being in summer camp, I'm talking 1940,
Uh-huh.
and all of a sudden this captain came over and asked me, did you want to be a second lieutenant? I made corporal in the National Guard. At that time, being corporal was like being captain now.
Mm-hmm.
And then this captain came in, would you like to be a second lieutenant? I said, well, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
So they were going to establish a new company, the National Guard, in Cayey, where I was living. And I became a second lieutenant and was assigned to the Cayey company, let's put it that way. I
Okay.
remember. And then sometime in August 41, talk about 41 now, 41? Oh, wait a minute. No, 40. 1940, the National Guard of Puerto Rico was called into federal active duty. So I went with my company to Camp Tortuguero near Vega Baja, and
This is
And
still
I was
Puerto
there.
Rico. Yeah.
all of a sudden they put me out because I was underweight.
Oh,
Yeah, they threw
you
me
were
out.
too skinny?
Sometime in November, the reason they gave me was because I was underweight.
And now why was that?
Because I was underweight. I mean,
But why didn't you eat?
I don't know. I mean,
Was it in the certain time that there was just not enough money
Oh,
to
no,
eat,
no,
or
no,
you
we
just
ate- no,
didn't
no,
eat?
We ate all day good. No, we never had problem about eating.
Do you
And,
remember how much you weighed at the time?
No. I never have been less than I was supposed to weigh for my height, let's put it that way. So, I went back home, and I went back to college. When my mother came, started giving me punch, milk and egg mix or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
for me to gain my weight.
Mm-hmm.
So in March 21, they inducted me an obligatory service as a recruit.
Okay.
And I came as a recruit, and about 3 days later, they kept us in touch together for a little while. I mean, from Buchanan.
And Buchanan is in Old San Juan, right?
Yes, near Bayamon.
Oh, near
Near
Bayamon.
Bayamon. And then
Okay.
they sent me to Tortuguero to the 296 Infantry Regiment. So about 3 days after I was in the new company, they made me sergeant. And then after that, I had to study some courses or something like that. And they sent me to, okay, I remember Carmelita Segarra, whose mother was was a cousin to my father, let's put it that way.
Okay.
She took me a letter to me about, he knew the general and everybody in the Antilles department.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember she took me over there and all of a sudden, I was in Fort Buchanan taking some more training to become an officer again. So I remember that they kept me in a barrack about legal and this by myself. Nobody was supposed to talk to me, none of the enlisted men, and nothing like that, except in the morning when I got up for about a couple of months after that, they put me in charge of the company and training the men over there, giving them close all the drill and talking about military subjects and things like that. For about 2 months, I was there in that room by myself. Nobody could talk to me because at that time the officers were not allowed to
Mingle.
intermingle with the enlisted men.
Okay.
So in other words, I remember the first sergeant of the company was a Sergeant Caban. He was tough. But to me, no, he was nice to me. He had to be, because I figured sooner or later I was going to be over him, let's put it that way. So they made me a second lieutenant sometime in June or July 21, I can't remember. And the case was so different that they even wrote a story, something in the papers. There was a Look magazine, and they published that in the Look magazine in the United States about me being a lieutenant and a private and a lieutenant again.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
Do you
a-
have that Look magazine?
In the Look magazine.
Oh, I gotta see this.
And well, that's talking about 1941.
Mm-hmm.
And I even got letters from the States, from girls that saw my picture over there in the Look magazine, and I don't know whether I answered back or not, because I don't particularly care about it. At that time, writing a letter, and then you have to write a letter in English. It was like
Rough.
writing a Bible, let's put it that way.
Okay. So we're now up to 1941. What happens after that?
Well, I remember when Pearl Harbor, December the 7th, we were driving from one town to the other in Puerto Rico, and say Pearl Harbor being attacked, and as all military personnel report to your post. So that was on Sunday. We started making preparations at that time in case we had to move. On Tuesday, December the 9th, okay, we were on our way out of Puerto Rico on a boat. We didn't know where we were going because at that time they tell you where you were going. It was a secret. So when we got to the place, we saw nothing but black people on the seashore, on the sea. And somebody said, "Are we in Africa?" And I said, "No, we haven't been. Africa is a long way from here." But we were in St. Croix in the Virgin Islands. And we went over there to prepare the defense of the air base over there.
Okay.
I think the air base name was Benedict Field.
Mm-hmm.
We dug trenches all around the island to establish the defenses. And like I say, we had machine guns, we had artillery, we had everything. We had a big, at that time was a company combat team. So we just stayed over there and waited for the Germans for somebody to attack the place. They never did, so.
Okay.
And at that time, I was young, I just went every place and saw everybody, and I didn't, in fact, one time I didn't have no jeep or what do you call the other?
Transport.
Small transportation, and I to go to town, I drove a big truck. See, I wanted to go to town, so I told how you call the motorcycle, bring me whatever you got there. So he bring me a big truck, and I drove it. And you know, the streets are narrow. How I did it, I can't remember.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I can't.
How? Because but I remember driving a big truck all around Christian, that was the town next to it. Of course, everything was 5 miles away, or so about 2 miles, I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I know everything was, the island is about 1/10 of Puerto Rico, so imagine.
Oh, boy. No bigger than Calle, I guess.
No, probably.
Okay, so then what came after that?
After that, we came back to Puerto Rico, and I was commanding a training company. They put me to command a training company of recruits. So we trained. Then we went to Panama.
Mm.
And
To secure the Panama Canal?
secure the Panama Canal. And then we went back to Puerto Rico for about a couple of months. And then they sent us to Hawaii. We were supposed to be training to go and fight in the Philippines.
Okay.
So we had a lot of jungle training and river crossing training and ropes and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were almost getting on the boats to go, they dropped the atomic bombs over in Hiroshima.
Right.
And
That kind of ended it.
Hiroshima and what's the other town?
Nagasaki.
Nagasaki. They dropped the atomic bombs and the war ended.
Right.
So we were safe on that.
And they send you back to Puerto Rico again?
Then we came back to Puerto Rico.
So you never saw combat, really?
No, I didn't get that close to it at that time.
You're lucky.
Then they sent me, they They sent me back to Puerto Rico. I was a claims officer of
How old were you?
for Buchanan. I was about 20. I was not even 26 because I was in 46 in July 40, I was not even 26. And it was a big post, was a post port and general depot. So all the boats came over there to the docks and unload furniture and unload people and all that. So I was a claims officer of post port and general depot. I even had to go to some islands, like I remember even the names, to see that everything was all right over there. And then they sent me to, I was claims officer for about a year and a half. And then they sent me to Cayenne, to Henry Barracks, to command the heavy weapons company of the regiment. And in 48, I got tired of everything like that, so I decided to get out of the army.
You did.
So I got out of the army and came to New York, okay?
You did.
Yeah, then I was a civilian for about 6 days. I said, what the heck, I don't know anything to do except being a soldier. So I re-enlisted in Whitehall over there as a master sergeant
In Whitehall?
in Whitehall in New York. Okay?
Goodness.
I don't know where that is.
Yeah, it's right next to Ground Zero.
Yeah, right there, that was it. And I went to Fort Dix, and from Fort Dix, I had not much to do or nothing. They sent me to Fort Knox, not much to do, nothing. Then from Fort Knox, they sent me to, all this happened in 48. They sent me to Fort Camp Breckenridge, Kentucky, okay? And at the beginning, they made me the signal sergeant of the post, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't like that because I had to be on a barracks with a whole bunch of all the master sergeants. So I didn't like to live like that because I was accustomed to be an officer in which I had my own private quarters and things like that. So I went to the post commander or somebody say, hey, I don't like being just a plain master sergeant. I want to be something else.
Okay.
So-
Oh wait, we were running out of tape.
You need another tape?
Yeah.